inside, traveler. Leave the outer rim behind. You've docked in Red 5 Cantina, where the stars all unwind. I'm cool at the helm, pulling up a seat for you. We've got blue milk chilling and a table with a view. From Tatooine suns to the moons of Endor, stories spark like sabers when you walk through this door. Every rebel, smuggler, Jedi, come on in. This is where your Star Wars journey's about to begin. So hang your cloak, set your blaster on stun. In this harvest coming fun, yeah, we're second to none. Grab a drink, take a breath, make a wish when you're ready, cause the jump to light speed's never been this steady. Welcome to Red 5 Cantina, where legends come alive. Across the galaxy, we're keeping that rebel vibe. Pull up a stool, we're about to ignite. Tank fabric, this crew's looking ready tonight. From Lord of Laughs, we're your hyperspace guide. At Red 5 Cantina, come enjoy the ride. Come enjoy the ride.
You may fire when ready.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Let me see what else I got here. Hold on, I got something special here. This one's for Janine, if she's out there. And this one's for me. We're live tonight. In a moment, you will meet one of the most fascinating Boba Fett collectors in all the land. General Kenobi's bunker, proprietor himself, will be here with us to talk a little bit of Maul, a little bit of Ahsoka, a little bit of the Filoni verse. Because this is to me like one of the biggest things I think that has happened in a long time with Star Wars. Just the leadership shift, does the blame shift with it? We're going to keep that. That's going to have to run through this. The toxicity in the fandom's always going to say, it's your fault, it's your fault. But who gets the blame, right? Because some people really like Filoni, some people don't. So it's always going to circle around this conversation. Every misstep, every good thing, how much of it has already been in process before now? How much, we don't know. So we've got some rumors, we've got some industry talk, we've got some headlines, we've got some. If you don't want to be spoiled, I would say don't, come back later, because I love spoilers. So I looked up some spoilers. We do have a little bit of spoilish information. So we're going to go over all that here for the next little while and kick off your week the best way we know how. So without further ado, let's kick it.
Yeah, Red 5 in the building. Step in the spot where the sabers glow red. Mic check live, yeah, we talking in your head. Holla talk, Cantina buzz, boots on the floor. Red 5 Cantina kicking open the door. From the bunker to the bar, hyperspace run. Legends, lore, laugh, yeah, we do it for fun. Come link, crackle, crowd, yell, yo, let's go. West in the house, better raise that flow. Hey, welcome to the Cantina. Raise it up loud, now you rocking with the team. Red 5 flying, yeah, we light the arena. General Kenobi's bunker, Jose Sanchez in the scene, bruh. Strap in tight, let the story begin.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
There he
I'm all
is.
pumped up now.
What's happening?
Not much, man.
I'm gonna
have to start working on my own theme song, man.
Yeah. I'll help you out. I'll help you out. I got my Kenner gang behind me.
I see that.
Work in progress right there.
I saw the
little guy.
Snake Yoda. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That Boba Fett, of course, still my favorite.
Yeah, I gotta keep working on the paint on him, and maybe a cape. Somebody said to get a shower curtain for the Jawa. I'm like, that's an unusual color, but it might be out there.
Yeah, it might give you the same sort of what's it called? Like now I'm blanking out on the material, like vinyl, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Right,
Kaz
right.
Kaz was here first, it looks like. So I can always turn to Kaz and ask him questions. He says, no fair. I made a comment yesterday. I should be number one, not Ricardo. That's funny.
There you go.
No, I don't think so. Ricardo's gonna make sure he's number one. Utini Design was in
Hey,
here.
what's up, man?
Sigma 05, new to the family. Thanks for
Hey.
joining the Red Squadron. Appreciate
Welcome.
you.
Hello, motherfucker.
There we go. Who else we got? Gap was here. He was in the house. What's up?
Hey, nice.
Kaz, of course, saying hi to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Sigma 05 with the evening ladies, kicking it, just cutting and slashing right off the bat. Okay, I
Right?
like it.
I
I like
know.
it. Here he is. I just got here. I'm already number 2.
There you go.
All right. And then and then the comment war ensues to see who can get the points. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kaz saying hello. What's up, Kaz? Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let me get through here. A lot of chit chat going on. I love it. I love it. The birds are chirping. I love it.
Very nice.
I'm scrolling. Boy, they're having quite the conversation at my expense. I love it. 1-6. Chris is here. What's up?
Hey,
sir?
what up, Chris?
Ben's here. What's up, Ben? Thanks for coming, buddy. Star Wars Addict is here. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff?
If you guys have channels and you have shows and you have upcoming things, feel free to put that in the chat. I am not against that. I am not opposed to that. We are all friends here. We all know each other, and we're just like tonight, we're seeing new people in the chat. So they may not know who we all are and what we all do. So feel free to say, hey, I got a show coming up next month, next week, tomorrow, whatever. Throw that on there. I do not care, for real. Let's see. Sigma, Kaz, Star Wars Addict, Ben, everybody. Ricardo, thanks for dropping links, sir. Appreciate you. I mean, I do have mods, and they will drop as many links as they can. Millennium Workshop Rex is here. What's up, sir?
What's going on, Rex?
I will try to come back to the chat as much as I can, but we have so much to go over tonight. I'm going to present my case to Jose. I'm going to present my case to him, and he's going to be judge, jury, and executioner, and also give us his take. Let's just jump into it, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's just jump into it. I am gonna pick your brain though and try to figure out how many. We're gonna have to guess tonight. Let's make it a game to figure out how many Boba Fett's he has in the collection.
Dude, I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't think I know anymore.
So Ahsoka season 2 is coming, as you know. It was the big speculation there because you had what was his name? Ray Stevenson died, and Baylan Skoll, main character. Then you've got Anakin mixed in there. You don't know if he's going to come back and things like
Right.
that. So, what we do know, here's what we do know: that filming has finished. Disney Plus quietly listed the show in its 26 lineup. They did slash the budget, however, by $100 million for this show.
Which is a lot.
So I'm really wondering, like, I think the guys from Andor could pull it off on a shoestring, but let's hope that the writing and everything's strong enough with Ahsoka that on the lower budget it all works.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're very different shows, right?
For real. Just trying to make the I guess what they could do with a budget versus what happened on Acolyte.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week a little bit. I said Acolyte's thing was they had so many ideas that none of them got finished.
Yeah, none of it got fleshed out enough. Yeah,
sort of clear and cluttered up, and it had this huge budget because there were delays with the Obi-Wan series. So they actually took money from the Obi-Wan series to go ahead and greenlight Acolyte.
Yeah.
So you got a lackluster Obi-Wan and you got a lackluster Acolyte. You got two lackluster series because money stuff was going on. They also had the Hulu deal going on with Comcast.
Right.
Ownership of that, which is now it's going to be folded one more time, all in Disney Plus, which it's already been like that in Europe for 2, 3, or 4 years or whatever it's been. So now they're finally getting that all cleared up. So a lot of that could be at play, But when you pull $100 million out of something like Ahsoka, when you saw season 1, it was a really big production. You had quite a few different scenes, quite a few different planets and world building that they did in the show. the ships and all that stuff, the stormtroopers, the art. So maybe we're not going to see quite as many interior sets and
Right.
exterior sets. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's going to be affected for sure. Let's just hope that it's done really well and the script's kept tight. And the other part of it is this is going to have to lead to something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Thrawn's the big baddie here, and the Heir to the Empire movie. Just to take a little exit here for a second, the Heir to the Empire is supposedly going to be an animated series now.
Yep.
So that
Yeah.
it's all affected now. So it's not. I don't think that it's Filoni failing already. I think that he
No.
learned how to juggle real fast.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is, and I've talked about it also on my channel, right? This is Disney like recoiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is, hey guys, we've spent, I don't know, $1 billion, let's say, right? And we haven't really seen, a return as nowhere near as big as we thought, right? And it's been a few years, right? We can't say that, this is very recent. It's been a few years with that sort of trend going on. So it's kind of like, I compare a lot to what we've talked about, for example, with the toys, right? When you don't buy the line, right? When you don't buy a Black Series, when you don't buy a Hot Toys, when you don't buy a vintage collection at retail price, right? You keep waiting and waiting and waiting until you
Go to
see them.
Roscon.
Exactly, until you see them at Roscon, which, full disclosure, I think anybody that has seen my channels knows that I'm all about the
Or you
Roscon,
go to
right?
Ollie's.
Exactly. But if you do that 100% of the time, right, and you never buy a full price figure here and there, guess what? They're going to start making less, right? And they're going to start making just the characters that sell, and they're going to start, reusing molds, and they're going to start just doing
Yeah.
repaints, etc.,
Yeah.
etc., right? So this is a little bit of that effect, right?
think so.
Unfortunately, it all boils down to business. It all boils down to money. So if we don't vote with our money, right, by watching more Star Wars, by buying more Star Wars, then Disney's gonna start to do this, basically, right? They're
Yeah.
gonna start playing it a little bit more conservatively. For example, Heir to the Empire, right? While us fans were like, dude, that's obvious. You should make an Heir to the Empire movie. Like, why wouldn't you make that? Think about it. How many people just off the street, right, know what Heir to the Empire is,
Right.
Not that
Exactly.
many, honestly.
Great point.
And so, right, to us, you're like, dude, you've been working, towards this for years at this point, right? Why wouldn't you want to make it? Well, yeah, because how much would that movie cost? 250, 300, million? And if it doesn't do $1 billion in the box office, then it's a failure, right?
Right.
And again, right, I don't think Disney's as eager as they were before, right, to try out, new things and just throw money at them. So yeah,
Right. Because for a few years there, that's all they were doing was throwing money.
Exactly. That's all they were doing. Yeah. With many things, right? Not just Star Wars, but of course, narrowing it down to Star Wars, absolutely. And again, I feel that this is a little bit of those symptoms, right? Like we're probably not done, to be honest with you. We're probably not done. So circling back to what you were saying, that I don't think this is Filoni failing. I just think he's gonna have
just
a
what
harder
he's inheriting.
job. Yeah, exactly, a harder job than maybe he even thought.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I would think the type of organization that Disney is, let alone Lucasfilm, anytime you're going to have a major leadership shakeup and a change, it's been hinted about and talked about and in the headlines for probably 2 years straight now. As many times as she came out and announced a new show that didn't happen, there was another story right after it about her retirement or her changing, leadership or whatever. And there was also talk of that because Bob Iger at Disney was going to, he was not supposed to be here as long as he's been here. He was supposed to just do a quick fix after the stuff that happened with the pandemic and everything, and then get out of there. And he ended up getting roping himself into stuff that he didn't. He kind of ticked off a lot of the board or whatever. But you have all that going on in the bigger scheme of things. So I would think that to Filoni, you would say, "Hey, Dave, in about a year, we're going to be looking to change the seat, right? Would you be interested?"
Right.
And if he said, "Well, creatively, how does that work for me? Because
Yeah.
I'm a creative guy. I'm a George guy. I probably look one way to a certain bunch of fans, and I probably look a different way to another group of fans. Because there's a lot of fans out there that do like everything that's coming out, and there's a
Sure.
lot
Yeah,
of fans that are very critical of things.
Yep.
So
Very
he's looking like this to different people. So I would guess in the last year he probably agreed somehow to this, and there was some probably things with Kathleen and some meetings, and he was probably just sitting in on this stuff. And there's probably a lot of things he knew going on that he didn't have a say in. And then maybe after a while, they eventually started asking him for some creative discussion, because at one point they announced him to be like head of creative or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of bumped him up to probably get his feet wet in that leadership role, and then kind of see what's going on in her office and all this, and there had to be a little bit of time there where he agreed to even do it. It couldn't be just, oh, by the way, we're making Dave the guy and the woman that's going to be the co-president or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like he had time to sort out if he really wanted to do it. And then the creative stuff on top of that was like, here's our lineup, and there's somebody else above even Kathleen that could say yes, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, whatever. Work on this, do this. Now we're not doing that as a film. Do it like this. Chris says, don't trust Filoni. I'm just going to wait and see. I'm going to wait and see, because it changes things for him, right? He goes from this creative guy, this George guy, to this corporate guy under the Disney umbrella. Of course, still Lucasfilm, but how much of that are we going to get back? The other part of it is, with all these different shows, they jump around in the timeline so much. The casual fan, the casual viewer will not have a clue where they're at in this whole saga,
Yep.
Like when Resistance came out, I knew that was like a sequel thing, but if a kid's watching it, the kid's just watching the cartoon and likes it, and there's a robot and a droid and and like a younger kid doing all this stuff and some espionage. And then, the next show would be Rebels or something in a rerun or something. And you see R2D2 or Chopper and be happy, So for the guys that pay attention, it's really tough, because, man, you're going all over the place. Starfighter's ahead of the sequel. Mando's behind the sequel, and in a really good place to bring the old with the new together and do some really cool things, and just avoid going towards the sequels.
Yeah.
Stay right there in that 5-year period and do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I was going to say
there's a lot of stories to be told, man.
Enough separation, right, between the Mando timeline, right, or the current Mando timeline and the sequels. There's still what is that, 15, 20 years, something like that. So
for Mando,
well,
Mando started 5 years after
Return right?
of the Jedi, so it's probably still within that 5 or 10 years somewhere.
Yeah, so there's still enough.
You can do so many things. Like one of the things I was reading when we talk about Maul was Lucas realized later on, wow, that really could have been a great character. Let's revive him.
Yeah,
that's why he's back in Rebels. That's why he's back now. It's a great character that you did want to know more about, and it really opened the fandom up to the dark side storytelling.
Right.
And somebody said, do the Acolyte again and make it about Plagueis. I'm like, no, just do a young Palpatine.
Yep.
Under Plagueis, and
right.
There you go. There's a lot of stuff going on right then. So I think there's stuff that maybe he knew about coming down the pipe, but he may not have had the power to say yes or no to. So some of that's going to have to get finished up.
Yeah.
And then proceed forward.
Yeah, that's another thing that I was mentioning when we were talking about this news a couple of weeks back. Don't think that, let's say if he started, yesterday, February 1st, that's his first day on the actual job with the title. Don't think that anything that comes out today or tomorrow, right? That's him 100%, taking care of it and saying yes or no. That's not how it works, right? again, we're probably not gonna see anything that Filoni as co-president runs until what, another year and a half, maybe.
27,
Exactly, like
end of
27, right?
26.
Yeah,
We may get some Tales
right, right. We
animated
may get some
stuff. I
tales.
mean, you could
Yeah,
have a Clone Force 99 kind of thing come out
yeah,
again.
yeah. But it's been a while. It's gonna be a while, right? Because it's one thing to approve stuff. It's a whole other thing to get the funding, to get it done, to
Right.
get it approved, or reviewed. I mean, and to put it out, right? So it takes time.
Yeah.
The again, like Ahsoka season 2. And I feel that they rushed that one, to be honest, because I feel that they're like, hey, this is the best thing we got on a series, right? Like going on right now. They started filming last year in April, right? Towards the end of April. And they like blazed through that because they had everything ready, right? Like they had the sets, they had the scripts, they had all that stuff. And we're not gonna see it until what, a year and a half later, when they started
Yeah.
filming. So
Yeah.
just kind of keep that perspective, guys. Again, we're probably not going to see anything 100% Filoni for another year or so, maybe
Yeah.
even more, right? Depending on the funding again.
Well, and that too, like this was supposed to be his show,
Exactly.
but how much
right?
could he have really have been over it when
Right.
they're pulling him in saying, "Hey, Dave,
Exactly.
would you like to run the whole
Yeah.
thing?" Well, he's like,
Yeah.
"But I'm doing this thing."
Exactly. So this
So,
is my thing. So.
Kaz was asking if he had any say in Acolyte, Crapolite, as he lovingly called it. As far as I know, his role at that time with creative was whatever show they set in front of him, he just had to go to them and make sure
Yeah.
they stayed within the confines of the story they presented to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say like quality control, because if you were quality control, you would have had dudes in the writer room going, no, that doesn't make
Exactly.
sense. It's got to be this.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that. I think they came to Kathleen or whoever with a script. It went through some different people and they approved it. And then Dave's job was to just make sure they stuck to their story.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to reach outside of it. But man, there were so many freaking veins to that story. It was all over the place.
He was involved. Okay, let's just say it that way. Right?
Yeah.
He was involved. Up to what capacity, like you said, right? Or how much actual, let's say, veto powers he had, right? I don't think much back then. And again, remember, Acolyte was what, 4 years ago or something like that? Like I don't even like when they were actually doing it.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Remember, it's been a while since they were actually filming and stuff.
They don't want to give away a lot, but they try to be coy about Hayden Christensen's involvement. And I mean, at this point, he's a huge part of this story.
Yeah,
absolutely. It can't just be that he resurrected Ahsoka back to the living world and like, okay, see you later.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean,
Balin's gonna release a power so strong that she's gonna have to turn to Luke, and then Luke's gonna have like this tingle, like, what is this I'm feeling? I'm sensing it. She's gonna say, I talked to your father. We can bring him to the blue glowy state or whatever with us to fight this. It makes sense to me because everything that we've seen that like even in the Rise of Skywalker when they all were visible to Rey and helping her, that to me, gonna be the sensible thing to do here.
Plus, I mean, they wouldn't have given us that last shot, really, right, of the show or season 1, let's say, with Anakin literally just standing there in Peridia, mind you, right?
Right.
If it wasn't gonna amount to something like you said, right? So
they're giving Luke Skywalker's story to Ahsoka because Abeloth was a Luke Skywalker story.
Right.
So, what up?
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening? So, if anything, at least if he's there to help, and it'll be all hands on deck at that point. It's going to have to be Anakin's going to have to be there, the father, the brother, Ahsoka, any other, even Balin himself might have to turn and make a decision at that point.
Right.
And because it's going to be one of those things where he releases it or helps get the Abeloth released and then go, oh shit, what did I do?
Yeah.
And so that'll be cool. That'll be exciting. But man, you can't be giving us 28-minute episodes and only 6 of them. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Like, let's hope they give us a little more there, at least, if they're going to cut the budget. Some of the rumor there was that there would be potentially expanded roles for characters like Sabine Wren,
Mm-hmm.
which, okay, I don't, say what you want. Yeah, she could have a broader role. I mean, a lot of those seeds were sown in Rebels. There was a rumor before that Natalie Portman would show up in some flashback scenes, or maybe on the with Anakin, but
Yeah.
she never ended up going into any negotiations.
Right.
But you know what? Could be a surprise. Who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would gladly take that
That'd be
surprise
kind of wild.
any
That'd be
day.
kind of
Yeah.
wild. If I just move on into Shadow Lord, Maul Shadowlord, just for a second here.
Sure. Let's do it.
They officially announced it at Celebration, Lucasfilm Animation. I was really let down that it was going to be animated. I would have been fine with Whitwer playing him. The guy keeps himself in shape. He does the voice. He knows the stories. It's part of his DNA at this point.
Yeah.
I felt like we got a lot of this already with let me switch my screen here. There we go. We got a lot of this already with Rebels, what happened, what went down. But it's going to be different to see a straight up dark side type story. Some of the things here were that Whitwer would return as the voice. Then they even said that the Inquisitor Marok would be in the story. So this is going to be before the events of Ahsoka, I guess.
Right. Yeah, because we know that Maul doesn't make it all the way to
right. So
well,
again,
actually,
another
Ahsoka,
time jump thing we have to.
But technically, he doesn't even make it to A New Hope, right? So
it says here that there's been a lot of speculation on how Maul's storyline may connect to broader Star Wars arcs, linking his later appearances. But these are community theories rather than confirmed plans. So there's a lot going on there. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the story itself has to give him a reason to be doing things.
Yeah.
Two of the things left over from the Lucas era that are rumored to take place in this, I don't know if it's going to be both or one or the other, but it's that he would have an apprentice, and it would be Darth Talon, who is a Twi'lek Sith from Legends, who would be his enforcer. And then also another Twi'lek named Devon Azara, a former Jedi who survived Order 66, that Maul is now training under the Sith code.
Right.
So it's interesting to hear those theories because Maul kind of lost faith in the Sith code. So where can that go? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they weave this.
Yeah.
But having Talon in there will really help their scores somewhat.
Right. Yeah, we've been clamoring to have Talon, I guess, brought into canon, right? For I don't know, for years.
So that'll be really cool that they're bringing in some characters that somebody obviously knows we want to see this.
Yep.
Just like Galaxy's Edge, they're doing it in California first. They're bringing some OT stuff in. They're bringing in some Mando stuff. They know, like, how could you not know
exactly
to have a guy at least look dressed like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo walking around? Like, how could you not?
Yeah,
it's insane to me that they didn't think to do that at all.
No, I agree.
So now they're finally doing it. Okay, better late than never. So maybe we're starting to turn the ship a little bit.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about a couple things you said earlier, when you said about the toys and the products, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's Disney park exclusive or Disney exclusive that doesn't seem to be made by Hasbro. So there must be some kind of thing with them with marketing and contracts and things like that. And it's not scaring off Hasbro because they just did like anniversary figures and things like Walmart exclusives. They're still trucking along. So they've got their deal. So there's a varied way to get specific things. Like we had the C-3PO head. We had the mouse droid. There's the gold new trooper, the gold, like a Phasma.
Oh stuff. Yeah. What's his name? Captain Pyre, I think.
I forgot. Yeah, Pyre. Yeah. So there's stuff like that going on. So there's plenty going on, and then Sideshow and all these other guys doing
right.
So, and then the other way to measure would be the box office, and when they haven't had box office,
exactly,
you can only go by views, and you're generating your ad revenue and things like that.
Right.
So
yeah. So I was saying about this too, right? Like, man, this upcoming Mando movie needs to be a freaking home run, in terms of box office. Like, I have this feeling that anything less than that, and we
The
might not
name
see movies
alone is
for a
just
while.
why do
Yeah.
they had to call it like it looks like
No,
it's
yeah, I know, dude. Like when
hokey.
yeah, yeah,
Why?
yeah, right. It's
Why?
like, oh
Oh,
man,
dude.
yeah, it's like exposition. Here, the title.
I think
uh,
though also here's the thing. So this is February, right? So by the end of this month, Super Bowl probably we're going to have another
mhm,
either trailer or further commercials,
right.
and then 30 days after that, it's probably going to be something that we finally see something that we say, "Oh man, I got to go see this."
Yeah,
I just I've been theorizing this for a while. I posted a video today too. There's got to be something deeper in this movie
agreed.
that we don't know about. Yes, there's
Yeah.
going to be stuff with Grogu. There's
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
hint. There's the hint of the split of them two. There's
Mhm,
the hint of this being sort of the end of Mandalorian's arc,
right,
rather than being just singular the Mandalorian. It would be
right,
just Mandalorians plural, and they could be in any story from here on out. Totally acceptable. Totally cool. Coolness factor with harkens back to Boba Fett and things like that. Could we see Boba Fett in this? Could we
right.
see other huts besides the one we've seen in bits and pieces?
Yeah,
So they're only going to have so much time to wow us with
yeah,
story and sights and sounds and things that we see and experience. So um, they're going to have to give us at least a nice 3 or 4 minutes on how he got the Razor Crest back. And I would think that leads him into working for Sigourney Weaver's character, and
right.
then somebody's after somebody and they bump into they go to stop something and they bump into a real bad guy,
Yeah.
and then things just take off from there on their adventure, and then if there's a crash landing or a fight somewhere and Grogu wanders into a cave and finds like a kyber crystal as big as him and becomes
Right.
ultra strength in the force and things
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
that.
Become
um
supercharged.
yeah, so are they gonna give us any original trilogy stuff? In this
Mhm,
timeline again, you've still got Luke. You can still now you have Anakin Blue Glowy. You've got Ahsoka. Is she gonna show up in the movie?
right.
So I don't know about all that, but things that are gonna happen in this season of Ahsoka, they must be pieces of this somehow.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, they have to.
speculation was that she was gonna be out later in the year, but I'm thinking
Right.
maybe not, man.
Yeah, maybe not. Like you said, maybe I don't know. What do you think towards the end of the summer, so that the movie's still fresh in everybody's mind? Um,
I'm thinking like I'm thinking a surprise April release or something,
that'd be crazy because
because they got they got Maul,
they got them all. Yeah.
Ahsoka. There's two other the Vision spinoff. Um,
Yeah. Oh my lord, why am I
so now you're
something
up
Jedi?
to
Man, I'm blanking out.
four
But
four
yes,
shows, four shows on the calendar there.
yeah,
So I feel like, and Mando's at the end of May, right? Isn't it the end of May?
yeah, yeah. It's a dinner.
I believe it's at the end of May. I feel like maybe they're gonna give us something before that. Or maybe Ahsoka's show is totally unrelated. I don't know, but I would think it makes sense to connect them. They're
Yeah,
in the same timeline.
I was gonna say they're too close together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
also, and I mean, of course, we've all heard the rumors and the reports that um this Mando movie is gonna directly impact, if there's even a fourth season, right, of Mando on Disney Plus. So that's what I'm saying. They they got a lot riding on this movie. So I hope they give it, like you said, I hope they give it a little bit more meat, on the bone for the story.
mhm.
We know that the action is going to be great. We know that it's going to be super fun. We know that it's going to look amazing. I mean, let's be honest, every single Star Wars movie looks amazing, regardless of the story. Like visually,
Yeah.
they are incredible, right? Um,
This is the
but
guy
yes,
they rumored for
yeah, and both,
Mando Grogu movie.
right, which would be cool. I mean, I always wanted to see more of him on the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
Um, So yeah, man, they got a tall
Dumbo.
order. There's a reason, of course, why they're doing Mando and Grogu. Now it's a property that everybody knows, even casuals, right? And so they're
Yeah.
trying to play it safe. To me, it makes perfect sense that they're the first movie out of the gate. But like I said, if this bombs, then we're in trouble. Like we are in trouble.
Favreau said he had season 4 written on his desk,
Yeah,
and then the movie, the request came in for the movie. So I feel
right.
like you're going to get pieces of what would have been season 4
That's
in the
actually what I'm
movie.
afraid of. To
How
be
we could
honest.
tell, how we can tell that, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But they're also saying this is where Grogu's story arc goes one way and Mando's goes
And
another,
Mando goes the
possibly
other.
ends. Not that he would die off or they would kill him off. It's just that he would go off into the sunset, and maybe
Right.
you'd have Cobb Vanth or somebody come in with Boba and Chrysanthemum, and I think Frankie was saying a return to form. It could be. I don't know. I
Yeah.
would love to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
They played, like you said earlier, they played it safe with a lot of these characters, and we had a guy like Boba Fett. First episode, first 10 minutes, showing him get out of the Sarlacc. I was happy right there. They could have ended it. That's how he did it. Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't care about the keeping to the lore and what this would have happened and all this.
Right.
It was amazing. It was badass. Everything after that, they softened him up. He's getting his ass beat, all this different stuff. They didn't tell us anything about Chrysanthemum's backstory with him.
Yeah.
They have a huge backstory. Oh my gosh. I didn't know this when I first was introduced to this character. I was like, wait a minute. I gotta look into this. There's stuff with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
There's stuff with Vader, the Emperor. I'm like, these dudes have worked jobs together before, and they act like they don't even know each other. And now they're friends at the end,
Right.
So there's a lot going on there that they could dig into. At this point, so right now in 2026, going into 27, you've got 50 years of lore, comics, books, movies, TV shows, animated shows, all these different things, different characters, different stories, the video games, the way they portrayed some of these stories. Battlefront showed us the essence of the Emperor that was in the books. Why didn't you do that in the sequel movies to show us that's what was happening?
Right.
Not everybody's going to know that. There's other things, other characters. Somebody talked about Star Killer. So much you could use. We didn't need to go into this all new Kylo and Rey and all this other stuff. We still had all that to go through, but they wanted to retcon and not use it, and then they end up using a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, now they're circling back.
Such a cool batch of things to bag of things. So like even going back to Embo, if they bring Embo out, like awesome, bring him. And then what about Cad Bane? Because Cad Bane could hold his own.
Yeah. And he's still around, so we know he's still around.
Ricardo says, Kathleen said they didn't have any source material. Yeah, right. You had no source material. Let me give you some source material. These 3 little movies that were made between 77 and 85.
Right.
83.
Yeah, I know.
No source material.
I'm like, dude, there's books that are as old as those movies. Like, come on.
Yeah. They asked George, I remember I was looking up something for a video one time about the first film's marketing. There were guys that took the screenplay and wrote a book, like their version of it. Books. There's like 2 or 3 versions that didn't necessarily do the same things as the film.
Right.
And then you had Splinter of the Mind's Eye and all this other stuff. Great stories in there. And then Heir of the Empire is kind of like where Thrawn comes in and where they're going with Thrawn, but then it's supposedly going to be its own separate film or something. So maybe that's what we're going to be led into. But then we're hearing this thing that it's going to just be an animated show.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't get me wrong. I want to see it, right? At this point, I'll take in any form that.
Well, if they're going to tell us these stories that we prefer to hear, fine. You're going to keep giving us Acolyte stuff. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Skeleton Crew was a refreshing change because it didn't give a shit about lore.
Yeah.
It just jumped in with both feet. It had a weird light and dark element where you had Jod murking people in front of kids. But then at the same time it had this cool Goonies ET kind of thing to it.
Exactly.
So it was great. It was like we don't care about. We're not. It's just a show in that universe.
It was just exactly.
And that was a great, refreshing change, and they could
was
have
just
stopped
fun.
right there for
Yeah.
a year or so.
Yeah.
But they got to keep the cash cow going because
Yeah.
they got to keep that app full of subscribers. So
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
if anything's going to do that, it's probably going to be at the very least 2026. When people start hearing the stuff that's going to come out or a surprise show, there's got to. We don't even know. We don't even know. Because if I'm Dave Filoni and you offer me the job, I'm like, okay, guys, let's be real. How much rope are you giving me?
Yeah.
Because I want to make a lasso and I want to swing this son of a bitch before you fire me.
Exactly. Yeah.
But maybe he's not. Maybe he's safer than that. But if that's me and they just pulled me out of
We're just gonna
nothing,
go for it.
I'm like, hold on, guys. Can I call some of my friends?
Yeah.
Can we really?
And he said it, right? He's like, I'm not I forget the words that he used, but basically he's saying I'm not the one that's gonna be producing every single story, right? It's like I want to work with new storytellers, with new writers, with new directors. Like I want to see what they gotta bring to the table, right? Now, of course, the underlying, not set condition is I'm not gonna approve every single thing, right, that they bring me, through, through me now as co-president and chief creative officer. But there's got to be some good stuff out there that we haven't explored. There's got to be some new ideas. Um, and you know what? There's also a lot of old ideas that we haven't done either, right? So I
Well,
feel
what
that
if they called up some screenwriters and they said, "Hey, it's Dave Filoni. I'm wanting to know if you're interested in working on something." Oh, sure. Okay, come on in for a meeting. And they come in for the meeting, and he says, "Here's these 6 major things out of Star Wars. Which one resonates with you the most?" Okay, well, I like this thing with Han Solo. Okay, tell me how you would do it.
Right.
Just sell me on it right now, off the top of your head. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, here's the ideas. Blah blah blah. He goes after Kira. She's with Maul. Syndicate. Blah blah blah. Okay, I like it. I think we can. Let's keep working on that. Maybe it doesn't come out, but let's keep working on that. Maybe it could be like that. We've already got these characters, these ideas. What would you do? Don't be the guy that comes in and Ryan Johnson's it and says, "I would murk all the original characters so that your new characters could go on in the sunset."
Right. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, at least Filoni has what I would consider to be a good balance, right? Between I want to try new stuff for sure, but I also recognize, like you said, that there's 50 years worth of lore, right? That it's not a bad idea to dip into, right? Now, I do want to say that I doubt that he's going to be like, okay, every single project from now on is going to be based off of something we've seen before. I don't think he's going to do that. Okay. Just to clarify, like, not everything is going to be Knights of the Old Republic. Not everything is going to be Heir to the Empire, so on and so forth, right? Like, he has to try new stuff because, let's be honest,
Knights of the Old Republic hasn't really happened.
So exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, not, there's not gonna be 10 movies about Knights of the Old Republic.
Right. Right.
I'm good with one at this point, though. Like,
well, I would think he would say, if we're gonna make it, it's got to be the one, definitive one.
Exactly. Like, we gotta go all out, right?
Right.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not gonna be all encased in what we know, right? Like, there has to be some new stuff because that's kind of the point too, right? Like, we want to expand. We want to think a little bit outside the box. But it's finding that balance, right? Like, just like the Force, right? There has to be balance. And in this case, between all the new ideas and the execution is really what's going to set them apart. I've said it before. I think overall, this is a positive thing. I think Filoni, is absolutely the right man for the job. But I've also said it, right? He's not going to be perfect, right? They're going to be mishaps. There's gonna be stuff that definitely doesn't resonate with the fans. There's going to be stuff that he thinks it's the next huge thing and we don't agree, right? That's just the nature of producing media, right? I mean, there's no guarantees. But again, overall, I think he's gonna do a good job. I really do. Like you said, how much he's actually gonna be able to control, right, and how much he can set his foot down, like, really remains to be seen, right? Just because he's got the title of co-president, right?
The woman that's coming in with him, I don't know a lot about her. What would she have in her experience? And I'm not saying a female couldn't be a good Star Wars fan, but
Oh, absolutely.
what on her side of this has anything to do with creative? I don't know. I'm wondering, is she just the business aspect,
I
the
kind of think
financial
so.
aspect,
Yeah.
and he's the creative head, and he
Right.
just says we're doing these 7 projects over the next several years, or maybe they don't even put a deadline on it. They just
Yeah.
say, here's what we're working on.
Right.
And I just have to be the guy to make sure it stays in line with things. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she might be the one to be like, all right, well, I need something, to come out at least once every year, right? Hey, check it out. So Rex, our friend from Lenny Workshop, will have a booth at the Great Ohio Toy Show on March 28th. So if you are in Ohio or the surrounding area, make sure you stop by. You say hi. One of the greatest creators that we know. Awesome when it comes to 3D printing, paint like nobody else. Go check out his channel as well. Like Rex does all kinds of things. All right. Like definitely check out his tutorials.
We got to get that in there. I saw him throw that in there. So I also have a quick update, not to cut you off here.
No, let's go.
We have a secret identity. We have a secret identity here.
Oh, snap.
Sergio. The Dapper Panda.
Nice.
The Dapper Panda.
Nice.
He had the little YouTube. He's like me with YouTube. Don't get YouTube riled up, son. Don't be like me.
I was gonna say,
Don't be like me.
just make sure you keep your separate, accounts for
Yeah,
each channel. Okay.
That's right. That's right. Don't you dare.
Compartmentalized. All right?
Don't cross them. Don't cross 'em.
Yeah. Don't cross those streams.
Dude, this has been my life, though. Check this out. I'll just hold up a few different things here. This has been my life lately,
Nice.
doing stuff like this over on Whatnot. Tony,
dope.
Star Wars Sith 66, has been knocking it out of the park. So he's been kind of
Yeah, he's been
mentoring
doing
me
that.
in the back, sending messages back and forth, encouragement, and
good,
how to get a handle on some of those things. And it's been pretty wild. Same handle, Red 5 Cantina, Whatnot. I'm always on there, but check it out. So here's what Ricardo's looking up some stuff. He's saying, so Dave's the creative director.
Mhm.
I forget the woman's name. She's the money aspect of the business. She has to get him the money to make the movies and shows.
Yeah.
Right. But she also has to help run this thing.
Yeah.
And so that's probably that's one of those things. Like I said, they probably worked that out way ahead of time. Like, how's the decision power going to come? Am I just going to turn to her and explain things and show her what we're working on, and then make it make sense to her, and then she and I go sell it to the board or whoever above them? There may be a thing where they just tell Lucasfilm, hey, you guys are making great money. You've got $600 million to play with this year.
Yeah.
So when you start to run out of that 600 or whatever, I'm sure it's not 600, but whatever it is, 400 mil, whatever. When you start to run low, that's when you're going to have to come calling, because if you don't give us the receipts at the box office, and if we don't see an uptick in the attractions at the parks and the merch, then we know maybe that's an indicator you're not doing so hot. Because like you said, people start to speak with their pocketbooks. But I think more than knowing how many views you have on a video and things like that with advertising dollars, it's going to be how many of those ticket stubs sell. And
I think so.
Star Wars is one of those franchises that's on such a big world stage that it's, they usually release early, like in China and different things like that, and they usually know within 24 hours. They can almost tell you dollar for dollar what's going to happen the next 6 weeks or whatever. So it'll be really interesting, because Grogu touched on a quite the phenomenon when Mando came out. Mando touched on the phenomenon, the silver Boba Fett, basically the Western feel to it. It was an OT feel. They nailed it. Favreau nailed it, and it really sparked a lot for them. Subscribers for their app, the toys, the merchandise, model builders were going crazy. Sideshow, the child, he wasn't called Grogu yet, just the child, all this mystery. It harkened back to the original trilogy stuff really well. we didn't know, Leia called Darth Vader, Lord Vader. I should have known it was you. Who the hell is Lord? When you first saw that, who is he? What you thought he was the ultimate bad guy, but he wasn't. So it was really cool. You had all these little mysteries built into the story, and that was kind of the feel that you got about Mandalorian. Because number one, who the hell is Mandalorian?
Yeah,
and then he finds that he just gets this job. I would like to see the baby. He gets the job, and then he's like, wait a minute. Like, I don't mind killing for money, for credits here, but this don't seem right. This doesn't pass the sniff test. And then he had the cool throwback with the IG-11, and he was a bounty hunter and things like that. And it was like some cool little mysteries rolled into it. I loved it. I hope the movie does more of that. And I think it's this weird thing where is it too much, too little, too late? Because they were on such a nice wave there, and are those fans that were just casual fans watching it moved on now because there's like a new prequel Game of Thrones out or something, or Yellowstone series number 12, have they moved on because there's so much competition, so many good writers out there, so much great content out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really going to be interesting. There's a lot of things in the entertainment industry that are finally getting back to some form of normalcy after the pandemic and stuff, even just this year. So it'll be interesting to see what other movies are out at that time competing with it. That's always a risk. There could be some other, it could be Mission Impossible 8 comes out or something, and steals their thunder a little bit. So it'll be wild. Will this be the summer of Star Wars? Because, like I said, they got to shoehorn Ahsoka season 2 in there. They got to shoehorn Maul in there. They got to shoehorn this Visions spinoff in there, in the movie, and then the movie will go to the app, and then we'll, even more people watching it. So it's a stacked year, man. It is a stacked year. The first 2 years, it was like as soon as something would end, something would start.
Yeah, something else.
Boom, 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 boom. I mean, that might have been way too much.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
It was fun.
But yeah.
And now that it's spread out, it's looking like a good year, man.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll gladly wait for a show or a movie as long as they're giving me, a good story. Right. So if it's got to take a little bit longer, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Refine it, make sure you got a good product on your hands, then go ahead and release it, right?
What do you think you're looking more forward to out of the two shows, Ahsoka and Maul? Are you looking towards one more than the other?
I don't know. To be honest with you, they both seem like continuations, right, of stuff obviously that we've seen. So to me, they're both like part twos, in a sense. I know that technically Maul never had his own show, but we know the bookends, right? We know kind of how he started down that path, and we definitely know where he ends, right? Now, is it going to be interesting to see everything between? Absolutely. And I'm very excited for it, especially with this whole thing about an apprentice. Does it really mean an apprentice, like a Sith apprentice, or does it mean like a business, apprentice, like, Yeah. Now that you want to shock people, you do that.
I think Mando would take the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's probably not that far off from what we might see soonish. If it's not in the movie, maybe the next season. If there's a season. I know somebody had asked. I saw in the comments that if season 4 had been greenlit, not that we know of. Like officially,
from what Favreau has said recently, no,
right? No,
that he had it all written out.
Yeah,
the script was on his desk, and they said we're not doing that.
Yeah,
but that wasn't to say he's done. That was to say we want you to do the movie,
right?
Instead,
right.
So
yeah, it was basically shifting priorities, right? Like focus on the movie, make that good, make us money, then we'll get back to
it. Would have to make sense now that you're putting a film out to go back to a season 4.
Right.
Because if you make a film and certain things happen that can't be undone, going back to this season 4 wouldn't work. You'd have to completely rewrite. So
No, yeah.
maybe there's a connection, or maybe there's just the familiarity of the characters. Um, I forgot what I was going to say. Was there was just some of the the dark saber getting destroyed and stuff like that. Just silliness.
Yeah, that
I was
was
really shocked that
sheesh, yeah.
as good as Favreau's done with that series, I was really shocked to see that, because I was like, well, it
That
doesn't
was
have to get
fun.
destroyed. It could just get dropped down a pit somewhere, and just
Right, right. Yeah.
somebody
Yeah,
finds it
or
in a comic book or something the
yeah,
next month.
exactly. Yeah, or damage it. Okay, fine. It's not working, but it's still there, like it's still around,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
like this, dude. It just all crashed out. Yeah, no, that was a
I
choice. That was definitely a choice.
I just want to see the Aelin Skull story play out.
Hmm.
And at the end of the last episode of Ahsoka season 1, the stuff with Thrawn and that, I feel like Thrawn is the linchpin of further stories there.
Yeah.
It's not going to be his demise in that season
Right, right.
2. You might see him in the movie. You might hear about him in the movie. Fine, because it connects the lore. Someone said, well, you brought Ahsoka got brought back from the world between worlds. Why couldn't Anakin? That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me at this point. You've brought him into the story. You know from those other shows what that is, what that place is. You saw him go through the trials. You saw him gain sort of the godlike power. And it's as far as his power, ability, level of abilities, whatever, it's not out of the reach of the realm of possibility that he comes back too. I would just love to see that moment of father and son finally again, after all the things that have taken place.
All right.
And really, if you think about it, it's only like 10 or so years, between 5 and 10 years since his barbecue on Endor. So
Yeah.
it would be really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because he became
Yeah.
the blue glowy. He's there with Yoda. He's there with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Now, he
the
couldn't
redemption
be
arc.
brought back like permanently, right? Like he'd be back
Well,
temporarily.
how
and-
real did Yoda look in Last Jedi with Luke?
Yeah, yeah.
He
but
looked like he was really there with just a little bit of glowy around him.
oh yeah, no. But I'm saying, but he'd been gone apparently for 20 years, right?
Yeah,
Because that was like the first time that he manifested, or whatever you want to call it.
right.
So I'm all for it. I'm all for a team up, father and son. That would be insane. But as we know, it's starting to be, in theory, it's Luke's, right? It's Luke's turn.
Mhm.
So I don't think Anakin could hang out, forever.
I
Is what I'm
think
trying to say.
I think, like I said earlier, Balin unleashes this, and he's not in the same place that Thrawn is.
Yeah.
So that something's going on where he's at. Something's going on where Thrawn's at. Some of your characters are over there. Some of them are over here. There's a flashpoint where they're together to fight this thing, and she's got to turn to help. She's going to turn to Luke because he's already there.
Yeah.
But there could be other characters that she turns to that we don't even know could be brought in yet. And you go, oh,
Exactly.
that's a good one,
Yep.
And then they could just call upon the blue glowy of Anakin, and
Right,
he's there. He's there to help. And hey, kid, he's standing next to Luke,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that'd be
exactly.
neat. I'd dig that.
Yeah,
And maybe it's
absolutely.
just for during that, and then when it ends, he's gone because it's
Yeah, he's gone.
completed the
Right.
force has got to go reset or whatever it's got to
Exactly.
do.
Gotta go recharge.
Got it.
But yeah, I think Ahsoka season 2 excites me because of that, because of the lore, right? Because of the possibilities of learning more about the Force,
Mhm.
learning more about Mortis, gods, all of that stuff, right? Like sort of the metaphysical, the supernatural, right? More on that side, right? Maul is gonna be fun because he's gonna show us the underworld, which we haven't really seen. If you think about it, we haven't seen
Yeah.
much. We've gotten glimpses. Yes, we had some episodes here and there for Clone Wars. Obviously, with Bad Batch, they were mostly moving around there, right? But they never fully embraced it, right? They were always kind of like, well, we're clones, we're sticking to what we know, but we do have to earn money, so we take jobs, right? But Mold, is embracing it and trying to dominate it at the same time. So it's going to be an interesting sort of dynamic there. But yes, Ahsoka season 2, I think is gonna give us the most, or I'm hoping that's gonna give us the most lore-driven, right, story that we've had in a while. Actually, like I really
Yeah,
hope that
for sure.
we dive into some of those like deeper meanings of the Force, and again, just characters that we know are more. Yeah, I don't know, I can't think of a better word, but more supernatural, right? Like more metaphysical than Thrawn, right? Than
Mhm.
a real like life threat. So
I quit watching the show because of that. Um, I think that's what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah,
Ricardo had pulled up, that's something I had read before too, that parts of season 4 were worked into the
yeah,
movie, but this was going to be the end of the Mando part of everything,
right,
and
right.
it would move on. Another thing to talk about, just another timeline jump back over to the Maul thing, was in 2005, Lucas wanted to do a live action show called Underworld,
Hmm.
Star Wars Underworld, sort of the seedy underbelly of the city and
Right.
espionage and the dark side things, and that didn't happen. So, stuff like that has yet to come out too. There's
Yeah,
a lot of opportunity there with Maul,
absolutely.
a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. But I this year is stacked, man, and they're going to hit us with some surprises. And next year being Celebration again,
Yeah, 50th
there's going to be
anniversary.
some stuff. There's going to be some stuff later this year that's going to blow us away. I
Yeah,
think. I hope.
yeah, same.
I mean, I thought Skeleton Crew would have had a darker
Hmm.
element similar to Acolyte, and I thought Acolyte, wow, maybe that might be the one, Carrie Ann
Hmm.
Moss. And then they
Right. Yeah.
give us 2 episodes with her, and then it was out. I really
Yeah.
liked the first episode of Acolyte, the mysteries that it presented, and then it just went all over the place. But I'll take it all. Sigma says it too.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
take
with you.
anything Star Wars. I will too, and
Sure.
we'll bitch about it later.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll tear it
I
to
just,
pieces.
I like to find something that I enjoy about things,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's shrouded by a whole lot of crap.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, and you and I have
uh,
said it here before, right? There's
hey,
things that we enjoy
guys,
about Acolyte, but
leave your wish characters in the comments right here. I
yeah,
got the
right,
first
there you go.
ones. Jack Black and Lizzo for
There
sure.
you go. They might have
Oh,
their own
dude.
spin-off, who knows?
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
And we have so much to look forward to. So I want to have you
Absolutely.
back when these shows come out,
For sure, yeah.
talk about the shows. And, that's going to be probably the real fun is going to pick up once these
Yeah.
shows come out, because I guess in some ways, like, it's cool because even though we know the characters, we do
Mhm.
not know what's really going to happen in the
Exactly.
stories.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be what drives us as content creators and things in these discussions, and everybody. It's like we're all going to gather around the fire, we'll crack a beer, and like, what'd you think of Maul?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
it's
absolutely,
gonna
man.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking
So
forward to it, getting back to watching, every week, to discussing, like you said,
yeah.
to theorizing, to hoping, and then
Well, and
yeah.
then the theater experience is always different.
Yes.
When you're sitting in a theater, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen, and
Yes.
then the next day you wake up and it's like, what was
Wait, yeah,
that?
wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, stick around for this quick video of my eras on YouTube. Is my new outro video. It's sort of some
Oh,
shots of different years of YouTube. And
nice.
hang out backstream behind the scenes, brother. We'll talk to you
Sounds
guys. We'll
good.
see you next time. Keep
Appreciate
your
y'all.
alerts on, because I never know when I'm going to be on, but usually it's going to be Mondays. But
Nice.
it's we're still in restart mode. So
Yeah, I hear you.
thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the new folks that showed up. We got some new subscribers today. Love you guys. Thank you. May the force be with you. Have a great week. We'll see you guys later.
Laters.